The room was filled with quiet chatter as representatives from many planets gathered. Jonathan Miller, Earth's ambassador, walked with calm confidence. He smiled at colleagues and nodded politely. The meeting on the neutral planet Viridian was meant to discuss trade, peace, and new alliances. Jonathan was known for his skill and honesty. He believed in talking first and fighting only if there was no other choice. He adjusted his suit and took a deep breath before entering the council chamber. Laura Bennett, his aide, followed closely. She carried his notes and observed the other delegates. The air was tense because many races did not trust each other. Some aliens looked at Jonathan with curiosity, others with suspicion. He ignored it all and focused on making friends and opening discussions. The meeting started normally with greetings and small talk. Delegates shared news from their worlds. Jonathan spoke about Earth, its history, its people, and its desire for fair trade and peace. Many listened politely, but some whispered to each other. Jonathan's calm voice filled the room. He spoke about cooperation, safety, and the future. Then, without warning, chaos erupted. A figure moved quickly across the room. The crowd froze for a moment before screams filled the chamber. Jonathan was attacked, stabbed with a strange weapon that glowed red. Laura screamed and tried to pull him back, but it was too late. Jonathan fell to the ground. Blood spread quickly across his white shirt. Delegates shouted and ran for cover. Security forces rushed in, but the attacker vanished before they could reach him. The chamber was left in shock and silence. Jonathan Miller was dead. Laura Bennett fell to her knees beside him, tears streaming down her face. She tried to speak but could not. The room smelled of smoke and fear. Cameras recorded the scene, and news spread across the galaxy. Earth received the message immediately. Citizens were angry and scared. The president of Earth, Andrew Collins, watched the footage with a heavy heart. He could not believe that someone would attack an ambassador during peace talks. Collins called his top advisors to the Situation Room. The room was filled with experts in diplomacy, military strategy, and intelligence. They all understood the weight of the moment. Among them were Robert Lane, an experienced negotiator, and Claire Wilson, a tactical strategist. President Collins spoke with determination. He said humanity could not let this act go unanswered. They would respond, but with care. They needed to show strength without starting a war they could not control. Laura Bennett gave her account of the attack. She described the weapon, the attacker, and the symbols on his armor. They did not match any known member of the Galactic Council. Her testimony made it clear that this was a planned attack, not a random act. Intelligence teams began to track possible suspects. Surveillance footage showed the attacker fleeing the scene. The path led to an unregistered ship that disappeared into hyperspace. Collins knew they needed to act quickly. If the galaxy thought Earth was weak, more attacks could follow. Humanity began planning its next steps. They decided to combine diplomacy with shows of strength. Messages were sent to the Council, expressing sorrow over the attack and demanding justice. At the same time, military forces were quietly prepared. Earth's fleets were put on alert. Ships were upgraded and crews trained. Nathan Hill, a young pilot, joined training exercises. He had natural skill with piloting and a sharp mind for tactics. The goal was to prepare for missions beyond the known galaxy. Meanwhile, scientists worked to improve weapons, shields, and communication systems. They made sure that Earth could protect itself if anyone tried to attack again. Laura Bennett stayed under protection. She was questioned constantly to provide any clue about the assassin or the motives behind the attack. The people of Earth followed every news report. Many protested, demanding action. Citizens wanted justice for Jonathan Miller. Some were fearful, but most were determined to support humanity's response. Collins and his advisors held long meetings. They debated the right way to act. Some urged caution, warning that too much force could start a war. Others said they needed to act firmly to prevent further attacks. In the end, they chose a path that balanced caution with strength. Humanity would show the galaxy that they would defend themselves, but they still valued peace. The story of Jonathan Miller's death spread beyond Earth. Other planets watched closely, some in fear, others with curiosity. The attack changed the way the galaxy viewed humans. They were no longer just another species, they had courage and intelligence. The first part of the story ends with Earth preparing for its response. Fleets were mobilized. Intelligence agents worked around the clock and diplomats readied themselves. Humanity was about to make a statement that would be remembered across the stars. The assassination of Jonathan Miller had shaken the galaxy, but it also awakened the determination of humans. They would not be passive. They would act, and the universe would take notice. Back on Earth, the atmosphere was tense. Citizens were shocked by the assassination, and the government moved quickly to prepare. Secret meetings were held at the highest level. President Andrew Collins gathered his advisors to discuss the next steps. Robert Lane, experienced in negotiations, and Claire Wilson, known for her strategic mind, were present. Collins emphasized the need to respond in a way that showed strength, but avoided starting a galactic war. Engineers and scientists worked day and night to upgrade Earth's fleet. New shields, faster engines, and advanced communication systems were installed on ships. Nathan Hill trained with his crew, learning complex maneuvers and practicing coordination under pressure. The goal was to prepare for operations far beyond the known galaxy. Intelligence teams analyzed surveillance footage and reports from Laura Bennett, who had survived the attack. She described the assassin and the strange symbols on his armor. The symbols were not part of any council member's insignia. This indicated a secret faction had planned the attack. Collins authorized a covert mission to investigate. Captain Daniel Brooks, an experienced officer, was chosen to lead the team. He and his crew prepared for a dangerous journey into uncharted space. They would find the base of the assassin and gather intelligence on the group responsible. Humanity wanted to act but also maintain a moral high ground. The fleet's movement was kept secret, while public messages emphasized calm and diplomacy. Meanwhile, Earth formed an unexpected alliance with a small alien faction. They shared intelligence about the secret group and offered safe passage through hostile areas. Laura Bennett continued to provide critical information, helping intelligence officers map the network behind the assassination. Diplomatic channels remained active. Earth sent messages to the Galactic Council, expressing sorrow and seeking answers. These communications were polite but firm. The council members were cautious, unsure how to respond to humanity's growing strength. Earth's fleet trained in space simulators. Nathan Hill and his team practiced stealth maneuvers, rapid attacks, and defensive formations. They tested new weapon systems and shields, ensuring readiness for any scenario. Scientists monitored the progress, making adjustments to technology as needed. The secret mission to Andromeda required detailed planning. Captain Brooks studied star maps, enemy patterns, and possible dangers. Each team member understood the risks. Success would bring justice and send a message to the galaxy that humanity was capable and determined. President Collins also focused on morale. He spoke to the people of Earth, explaining the steps being taken. Citizens were reassured that justice would be pursued but that the government valued human lives and peace. The media covered the preparation extensively. Citizens followed the story, learning about fleet upgrades, intelligence work, and diplomatic efforts. Public support grew, and people took pride in their leaders' careful planning. On the alien side, whispers of Earth's preparation spread. Some factions were curious, others nervous. Humanity's combination of intelligence, strategy, and technological advancement surprised many. The covert mission left Earth quietly. Captain Brooks and his team entered hyperspace, heading for the Andromeda sector. They moved quickly but carefully, avoiding detection. Laura Bennett stayed behind, ready to provide further information if needed. The fleet remained on alert, ready to respond if the mission faced complications. The Alien Alliance provided guidance and assistance, helping the mission navigate dangerous areas. Captain Brooks' team studied the behavior of the secret faction. Patterns emerged, showing the faction's base location and routines. Technology allowed humans to monitor from a distance, learning the strengths and weaknesses of their target. Back on Earth, Collins and his advisors reviewed progress reports constantly. Every decision was weighed carefully to avoid mistakes. Diplomats maintained contact with the Galactic Council, asserting humanity's stance and emphasizing the importance of justice. The secret preparations were nearly complete. Weapons were ready, crews trained, and intelligence gathered. The stage was set for humanity's decisive action. Citizens hoped for justice, leaders planned carefully, and the galaxy watched silently. Humanity's ability to combine careful planning, intelligence work, and moral purpose would soon be tested. Every move was calculated, every decision mattered. The story of Earth's preparation showed determination, skill, and unity. They were ready to face danger, uncover the truth, and defend their honor in the galaxy. Captain Daniel Brooks and his team traveled through hyperspace, their ships moving silently and carefully. The Andromeda sector was full of unknown dangers, and the crew stayed alert. Every member of the team had a clear task. Sensors scanned for hostile ships and intelligence systems tracked unusual signals. The base of the Assassins faction had been located using clues from Laura Bennett and intelligence analysis. Captain Brooks studied star maps and reviewed every detail of the plan. They needed to gather information without alerting the enemy. Approaching the base, the team noticed defenses that had not been expected. Stealth technology allowed them to move close without detection. They observed patrol patterns and analyzed weapon systems. Each member of the crew worked with precision. Nathan Hill handled navigation, while engineers monitored shields and engines. The plan was simple but dangerous. Infiltrate the base, gather intelligence, and leave without unnecessary confrontation. Inside the base, humans discovered evidence that the assassination of Jonathan Miller was part of a larger plot. The faction wanted to weaken humanity's influence and provoke conflict within the Galactic Council. Documents, maps, and communication records revealed contacts and plans. The team realized the danger went beyond one attack. Humanity's position in the galaxy could be threatened if the faction succeeded. Captain Brooks made a critical decision. Instead of destroying the base, they would perform a warning strike. The strike was designed to send a clear message to all factions. Attacks on humanity's representatives would not be tolerated. High-precision weapons disabled the base's defenses and communications without causing mass casualties. The message was broadcast across the sector. It was simple but powerful. Humanity would defend itself and its people. The faction panicked. Members fled or surrendered when they saw the human response. The warning strike was a demonstration of skill, intelligence, and restraint. Back on Earth, the operation was monitored closely. President Andrew Collins and his team received updates from Captain Brooks. Every move was analyzed and progress reports were shared with the public to maintain trust and morale. Citizens were proud of the courage and skill of the teams involved. Humanity had acted decisively but wisely, showing the galaxy that they were capable of responding to threats. The Galactic Council took notice. Reports reached other planets that Earth had struck without hesitation, but had avoided unnecessary destruction. Diplomats and leaders began to reevaluate their assumptions about humans. Humanity's message was clear. They valued peace, but they would defend their dignity and representatives at all costs. Captain Brooks and his team returned to Earth after completing the mission. Evidence from the base was analyzed and conspirators were identified. Laura Bennett reviewed the information and confirmed that justice could now be pursued. Nathan Hill was praised for his skill and bravery during the operation. The team had performed exceptionally under pressure, showing human ingenuity and courage. President Collins addressed the people and the galaxy, emphasizing that Earth sought peace but would never allow attacks on its citizens or representatives. The warning strike had reshaped alliances, and many alien races began to reconsider their positions regarding humanity. Some factions reached out to establish contact and alliances. Others became cautious, realizing humans were a force to be respected. Humanity had combined intelligence, technology, and moral restraint to achieve a significant victory without igniting a wider conflict. The mission showed that humans were capable, resilient, and ready to defend themselves and their interests in the galaxy. The story of the warning strike spread quickly, inspiring confidence and respect. Humans had made it clear that they would not be passive in the face of threats. Their actions had started to change the balance of power in the galaxy, demonstrating that while they valued diplomacy, they were prepared to act decisively when needed. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session. Delegates from many planets filled the chamber, their faces showing fear, confusion, and anger. Humanity's warning strike had reached them quickly. Many had not expected humans to act so decisively. Some council members feared that Earth was becoming too strong. Others worried that further conflict could spread across the galaxy. Laura Bennett was called to testify. She presented evidence of the assassination and the actions of the secret faction. Her calm explanations shocked many delegates. Claire Wilson and Robert Lane, representing Earth, addressed the council with confidence. They explained the human perspective, emphasizing justice, restraint, and the need for respect. Their words carried a clarity and logic that few alien races could ignore. Some council members tried to downplay the incident, hoping to protect their own positions. Others secretly reached out to humans, realizing that alliances with Earth could be valuable. Tensions rose as different factions argued, each trying to control the narrative. The evidence showed that the assassination was part of a larger plot to weaken humanity's influence. The Council's indecision and hidden agendas became clear. Humanity's actions had exposed weaknesses and corruption among some members. Diplomatic debates went on for hours. Claire and Robert stayed calm, countering arguments with facts and reasoning. They insisted that humans demanded justice, not revenge. The room was filled with voices, some shouting, some pleading, and some whispering to allies. The Council's divisions became deeper as humanity maintained its strong moral position. Reports of Earth's successful missions spread throughout the galaxy. Alien races watched closely. Some were impressed by humans' intelligence and courage. Others worried about the growing influence of Earth. Secret negotiations began behind closed doors. Some council members sought alliances with humans, offering information and support. The atmosphere in the council shifted. Fear of human retaliation combined with respect for their skill and strategy. Diplomacy was no longer one-sided. Humanity had become a major player in interstellar politics. Laura Bennett's testimony continued to be important. She showed how humans had acted responsibly even after the assassination. Her words reminded everyone that humans valued life but would defend their people. President Andrew Collins communicated with the council, emphasizing that Earth sought peace but expected justice. The council could not ignore the evidence or the clear message from humanity. Delegates realized that underestimating humans had been a mistake. Humanity's reputation grew stronger, and some alien races began to seek partnership rather than conflict. The threat of civil conflict within the council increased as divisions became visible. Some factions tried to hide the truth to protect themselves. Others began to ally with humans to ensure fairness and stability. Earth's combination of diplomacy, intelligence, and moral clarity reshaped the council's dynamics. Alliances, negotiations, and careful strategy were now guided by respect for human power and judgment. Humanity had made itself a key factor in decision-making. The council was forced to acknowledge that humans could no longer be ignored. Their actions had shifted the balance of power. Negotiations and discussions continued, but Earth's influence was clear. The warning strike and the presentation of evidence had demonstrated skill, patience, and resolve. Humanity had shown that it could act decisively when needed, but also with a sense of justice and morality. Alien races began to understand that humans were strong, intelligent, and strategic. The Council would need to consider Earth's opinions carefully in all future decisions. The story of the Council in Crisis highlighted the rise of humanity as a respected force in the galaxy. Humans had combined courage, intelligence, and morality to influence events beyond their own planet. Their actions had reshaped politics, alliances, and the perception of human power. The Council's response showed that the galaxy had begun to take humans seriously, recognizing their skill, determination, and ability to act with wisdom and restraint. Humanity had moved from being observers to decisive participants in galactic affairs. The aftermath of humanity's response was clear across the galaxy. The Assassins faction had been dismantled and key conspirators captured. Justice had been served for Jonathan Miller, and the people of Earth felt a sense of relief and pride. President Andrew Collins addressed the citizens, emphasizing the courage, intelligence, and moral strength of humanity. He praised Captain Daniel Brooks, Nathan Hill, and the entire team for their bravery and skill. The galaxy had witnessed a demonstration of human resolve that could not be ignored. Alien races, once skeptical of humans, began to approach Earth with caution and respect. Some offered alliances, realizing the benefits of cooperating with a capable and principled species. Others became wary, understanding that humans were not passive or easily intimidated. Claire Wilson and Robert Lane continued their diplomatic work, solidifying new agreements and strengthening existing relationships. Their clarity, honesty, and intelligence impressed even the most skeptical council members. Earth had gained a decisive voice in the Galactic Council, ensuring that future decisions would include human perspectives and considerations. Laura Bennett remained a symbol of resilience, her courage during the assassination and her calm testimony inspiring confidence. She continued to assist in diplomatic efforts and intelligence analysis, helping to maintain Earth's strong position. The technological advancements made during the preparation and the covert mission also contributed to Earth's reputation. New fleet upgrades, improved communication systems, and advanced defensive technologies demonstrated that humanity was prepared for both peace and conflict. Nathan Hill became a celebrated pilot, admired for his skill and bravery. Captain Brooks and his team were honored for their successful mission, which had not only ensured justice but also demonstrated the strategic ability of humans. The galaxy began to recognize that humanity combined moral clarity with intelligence, technology, and courage. Earth's actions had changed the perception of human capability. Diplomats, military leaders, and civilians understood that while humans sought peace, they would act decisively to protect their people and interests. Formerly neutral or cautious alien factions began to respect humans as a force of stability. Secret negotiations and alliances were formed, with Earth in a central position. The Galactic Council itself had shifted. Humans had become a major influence, and other races could no longer ignore their opinions or presence. The Council's dynamics were now guided by the understanding that humanity could act with both wisdom and strength. President Collins, Claire Wilson, and Robert Lane maintained communication with Council members, ensuring that humanity's voice was heard and respected. Earth's actions had shown that courage, intelligence, and moral integrity could change the course of interstellar politics. Citizens felt pride in their leaders, military, and scientists. Humanity had proven that it could respond to threats decisively, maintain peace when possible, and influence the galaxy for the better. As the story concluded, it was clear that a new era had begun. Humans were no longer passive observers. They had become respected participants, capable of shaping the future of interstellar relations. The galaxy understood that humanity's response to Jonathan Miller's assassination had not only secured justice, but also established humans as a formidable and principled presence among the stars. Humanity's strength, resilience, and moral clarity had been recognized, and the future was now open with possibilities, alliances, and opportunities shaped by respect for human power and wisdom.